Canadian Music Week on 105.9 The Region.
That's right. You're listening to 105.9 The Region at 12:15. I'm Shaliza Backus with you on this hump day, and we continue with our Canadian Music Week coverage. I'm joined in studio now by Alessandro Montelli. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me. We're so excited to have you. You're performing tomorrow night as part of the Canadian Music Week showcase.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I believe I am.
You're so talented, and we're so happy for you. Now, you've joined us on the station before, and we do have to shout out Mom, who's listening in Italy.
Yeah.
We're being streamed in Italy right now. Do you want to say anything to your mom?
Ciao, Mama.
That's it?
Yeah. Grazie. Grazie, Dita.
And like I said, we've had you on before. You've been part of our Artist Spotlight Sunday before. And for listeners who may not know you, you're a pretty new immigrant to Canada, to York Region. You moved here from Italy a few years ago. So why don't you tell us about your journey a little bit?
Yeah, it's a long journey. I moved here in 2016. I'm actually half Canadian. I don't know if you guys know this, but my mom was born here.
Okay.
And then she moved to Italy when she was 21 and whatnot. And I always came here back and forth to visit my grandparents and family here in Woodbridge. And at one point, I just decided to move here. Like I was in high school. I grew with the idea of moving here and trying to do music here. And I finally decided to make the step. And
you did it.
Now I'm here.
And here you are. And your mom, of course, I'm sure you miss her a lot. She's back
Oh
home.
my God, yeah. I miss them a lot. Miss you.
See, a word from Mom. And what has it been like getting into the music scene here in Woodbridge in the GTA?
It was very hard at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. Again, I was living in Bonn with my grandparents. I thought it was gonna be easy for some reason, but the truth is when you move from another country, to a new environment, you gotta start it off from scratch, unless you have big connections or whatnot, you know. So, you know, I tried to make connection in Bonn, perform at a couple venues, film at schools and whatnot. But then I felt the need to actually make the trip to downtown Toronto, to the GTA. And that's where it actually started, you know, bigger connections and more opportunities.
Okay,
right?
So what did you do to really start off? Were you like handing out demos to people? Were you playing music for people?
I was actually volunteering at Indie Week, Canadian Music Week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a way to make good connection.
That
I
is.
enjoyed it.
That's actually really smart. I never really thought about that before, like maybe trying to get in from the inside rather than
well,
just,
yeah, I couldn't see or find any other way at that time, and it was a way for me to literally get myself out there and start meeting people in the music industry, because I literally knew no one. No one.
And you know what? That's a good word of advice for people, you know, trying to get in from the inside. So you're really no stranger to the Canadian Music Week stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I was volunteering, working doors, stage managing as well, because I'm a musician, so I felt like that was a good fit for me at that time. So you really start to understand how the music industry works, because it's different, Canadian music industry versus the Italian one. Like I said, it was all new, and
and
was
what are some of the major differences then that you've seen between the Canadian and Italian?
Like I always tell people that I feel like in Italy, I'm a shy person. I know maybe sometimes it doesn't come out like that, but in Italy I was struggling to make connection with people. Here I feel like you always find a point of, you know, connection again, and people are more friendly, you know, Canadians. I mean,
we're very polite.
I'm part Canadian too, so it's me as well, I guess. It was very easy to just talk to people and hey, what's up? What do you do? This and that, and I don't know. That's my main difference. I feel like here I got more chances to go and put myself out there.
And I think good for you, because you basically went where the opportunities are.
Yeah.
And look at you now. Look at you now. You're going to be playing at the Wheatsheaf Tavern tomorrow night. So we're going to talk more about your performance coming up. More with Alessandro Montelli coming up.
Yeah.
That's right. We are back with Alessandro Montelli. We're continuing our Canadian Music Week coverage at 12:45 on this hump day. I'm Shaliza Backus. What's going on, Alessandro?
What's
How
up?
You feeling? You feeling good?
I'm hungry, man. Like, here it's almost lunchtime.
You know, you were telling me off the air that your nonna lives in Woodbridge.
Yeah.
So is that where you're heading afterwards?
Yeah, it's just literally down the street kind of thing.
And we are streaming in Italy right now. Your mom's listening. She sent you a message.
Yeah.
So
she heard the hello. She was happy about it.
Hi, Mama. Nice. All right. You are performing tomorrow night at the Wheatsheaf Tavern for Canadian Music Week. And what is your performance looking like? What can showgoers expect?
Well, Well, it's gonna be like a 20-30 minute set for this one, and I'm performing with the band. New people, because it's hard to find musicians that are committed.
Yeah.
But I'm working with great musicians. One of them being Tim Wilson, and Ian, which is a great friend of mine on the drums. Devin on the bass, and it's gonna be fun. We had one rehearsal, but I'm sure we're gonna kill it.
One.
Yeah.
You only rehearsed as a full band once.
Yes, for this one, unfortunately.
Are you going to do a sound check or anything, or are you just going to walk into it?
You know, most times you show up at these venues, you don't always get a sound check,
Well,
but
Yeah,
yeah,
you know
it's
what?
gonna be
When
fine.
you're talented, you're talented. You could just.
It's not even that. It's the experience. Gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. Like, I've been playing for a while, and you
Yeah.
can somehow wing it. You know?
And what's your dynamic like with these musicians?
Well, like I said, the drummer Ian, I would say I'm pretty close to him. He's been playing with me for a few shows, and he's a super talented guy. He has his own project, and he plays in a couple bands, plays drums, guitar, bass. He's amazing. Tim Wilson is very involved in the industry. He works with the label and a few artists, friends of mine. Devon is the guy that I met through a jam, and we always wanted to work together. So he kind of jumped on the opportunity of this time.
Okay.
So they're all great. So I'm not worried, to
No
be
need to
honest.
worry.
We're just gonna have fun.
I mean, that's true professionalism over here. It's like, yeah, we just had one rehearsal. It's fine. We'll be
I'm
fine.
being straight up. I'm stressed. I'll be honest with
I
you.
mean, I couldn't tell. I would never be able to tell. And you've been attending some Canadian Music Week performances and things like
Yeah.
that, supporting your friends throughout the week. How does it feel just having those community of artists all together?
If it does feel good, like I said, when I moved here, I knew no one, and now I know people and friends, and they know me, and we all follow each other's journey, and it feels good because it's an excuse to catch up and be like,
Yeah.
hey, what have you been up to?
How
and
many on average people would you say you've caught up with over the last like four days? A lot.
whatnot. 20, 30
See?
people. I mean, it's
And it's nice because you don't see those people very often, right?
no, not at all. Unless you go to their
Yeah.
showcase, which is not always possible. You want to support your friends
Exactly.
and show up to
You
their concerts, but we get busy, so
Yeah.
it's not always the case.
But
I
you
guess.
know, that's what I really love about the Canadian music scene and artists and stuff. There are so many people supporting each other. Like the support
Yeah.
will always be strong within the community. Like I've been looking at all of your Instagram stories and things like that, and it's so nice to see everyone supporting one another. And like
Yeah.
even if there's competition, it's friendly competition, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel most of the times.
Yeah, so it just feels nice. It feels nice to stay
Yeah.
connected. And if you had any advice for any up and coming Canadian artists, what would you say?
Again, like if I literally do what I did, like kind of like just go out there, trying to make connection at work. And coming from me, I know it's hard. Like even yesterday, we were at this event, the industry event called You Should Know. And I got there and it was overwhelmed. It was overwhelming, and it was packed with people. A couple of people that I knew, like Four Corners,
Yeah.
who's the DJ from the Raptors and whatnot. I was like, how do I start a conversation? That's always the thing. But
Yeah.
then you start talking to the one person and that kind of starts a chain.
And it flows naturally.
And then you start drinking, and then somebody buys you a drink. That's a story for another time.
So your
but-
word of advice is get a drink in you before you start talking to anybody.
Sure, yeah, that helps.
Great words
Yeah,
of
yeah.
advice from Alessandro Montelli. Listen, I know you're good vibes. You're good vibes. We always love having you here, and we are going to have an exclusive performance from you on
yeah.
our social media channel. So make sure you're following us at 1059 The Region on Instagram. We're going to live stream that. It's going to be super fun. Can you tell our viewers about your performance coming up right now?
Yeah, it's I'm gonna perform this song, which is half Italian and half English, that I wrote with this guy that is right
Sitting
here
in
in
the
studio
corner,
with
Daniel
us,
sitting in the corner.
Daniel Dorta. Everyone knows him as one of the best photographers, if not the best, in Toronto. He's literally shooting every single artist in Toronto.
That's what you need, though.
I lost count.
That's
yeah,
content.
He's very out there. He's great. I love him.
So he's multi-talented too. It's a photographer and a songwriter.
and he's also like a ghost writer at this point, or a songwriter.
Oh, so,
So
you
I wrote
didn't
this song.
credit him.
Not yet, because the song is not out yet.
Okay,
It's an unreleased song.
fine.
But I will.
That's
promise.
fine. All right. Alessandro
I'm ready.
Montelli performing tomorrow night at the Wheatsheaf Tavern for Canadian Music Week. And stay tuned. We're going to have a performance from him coming up. Thank you.
Thank you.
right, we're loving that. We're loving the vibes. Alessandro Montelli live in our 1059 The Region studios. You're about to perform for us, and this is a really cool song. It's half Italian, half English. Why don't you tell us about it a little bit?
This song is called Smoking Cigarette. It's an unreleased song I wrote with my best friend, and can't wait to release it.
Amazing. We're excited to hear it. Alessandro going to be performing as part of Canadian Music Week tomorrow night at the Wheatsheaf Tavern. What time are you going on?
10:20.
10:20.
Yeah.
All right. You got a good slot. That's when everybody's vibing, right?
It's in the middle,
All right. Without further ado, here we go. Alessandro Montelli.
Thank you. Just wanna be seen, just wanna be earth, just wanna be drunk, just wanna be gold, just wanna be playing rock and roll till the time I die has come, and all of my friends are taking drugs, and I'm just stuck at home alone. Just wanna be seen, just wanna be earth, just wanna be drunk, just wanna be gold, smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri sul mio scheletro. Smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri. Sarò sincero, lo solo giuro, ma adesso non so più chi sono. Ho fatto cambi, ho fatto sbagli, mia cara Italia, niente guadagni, ed ho dovuto guardare avanti. Lo dicono tutti, lo fanno tutti, lo dicono tutti, lo dicono gli altri. Carezza il cuore dai miei circuiti. Smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri sul mio scheletro. Smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri. I got no time to look into your things. Desperado, let me be your sin. Amore mio, give me everything. Give me everything, everything. I got no time to look into your things. Desperado, let me be your sin. Amore mio, give me everything. Give me everything, everything. I got no time to look into your things. Desperado, let me be your sin. Amore mio, give me everything. Give me everything, everything. Smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri sul mio scheletro. Smoking sigarette sulla luna, so you know. Cambi le risposte, giuri. Thank you.
Alessandro Montelli, everybody.